Hello guys, it's Reed here. Welcome to another video. So today we are going to talk about how I see this press with the recent changes that they made to the spec and to the Voidweaver hero talent. So we are going to go and do a breakdown of 4 things. First, the quick review of the hero talent tree. Second, the change that they recently made to Rapture. And third, the current season 1 tier bonus, and for like the conclusion of those 3 things, that how they came together and how it will impact the current discipline playstyle. So stay tuned. Let's go for it. So let's start with the hero talent tree of Voidweaver. So we have Entropic Rift. Entropic Rift, basically when you cast Mind Blast, it creates a rift and it like travels to the enemies or the target you are currently casting spells, and it does damage to every enemy, all the enemies within its reach. Then on the central path and the first row we have Void Blast. It replaces Smite when you create Rift after casting Mind Blast. You, instead of casting Smite, you will cast Void Blast, which does a lot more damage. Then on the second row we have Void Empowerment, which basically when you cast Mind Blast and you create the Rift, all the atonements that you have in that moment are extended to by 1 second, the shortest one. So this is, I think this will be more like useful in ranged environment when you are ramping up and basically you cast Mind Blast. It will extend the atonements that you casted in the first place. So I think that will be very useful for right environments. And then we have Darkening Horizon, which makes when you cast Void Blast, increase the duration of the Rift. So basically you spam Void Blast and you can extend the duration of the Rift by a maximum of 3 seconds. Then on the third row, basically it's a passive, and all the healing that you make with Void Blast is 100% more effective. So you basically double the healing when you are casting Void Blast instead of Smite. We have on the first row we have No Escape. So the Rift slows the enemies by up to 70%, and it depends on how close they are to the center of the Rift. I think this is more, I mean, it can be useful in PvE, but I think this is more aiming towards PvP. But depending on the type of raid encounters we face, or even the kind of CC that we may need in different M+ environments, this might be useful in PvE too. Then we have Dark Energy, which is I mean kind of opposite. That like it gives you speed when it's active. So depending on the type of situations I think this is a more situational tunnel, depending on what we need on a specific boss or dungeon or whatever. Then on the second row we have Devour Matter, and it basically makes the Shadow Ward Death. It consumes the seals that a target may have, and it makes 300 extra damage to them, and if the enemy has a seal active, you recover 1% of mana. And then we have Void Hurt. While the Rift is active, the healing of the atonement is increased by 10%. Hey, if you are saying this, it's because you are finding this content valuable. So if so, please consider subscribing to the channel and like this video. You will be helping me so much, so I will really appreciate it. So yeah, thank you for watching. Bye bye. So on the right path we have Inner Cutus, which makes it empowers the Ore Shield, so it absorbs 20% more damage. And keep this talent in mind because we are going to talk a lot today about seals. And this is really interesting. So on the second row we have Depth of Shadows. It also empowers Shadow Ward Death, and it has a higher chance of summon our pet, or Shadow Fiend, Mindbender, or Void Wrath for 5 seconds when the targets are below 20%. So I think this is also very situational. So I don't know if we have a boss or a dungeon where we will have a lot of enemies or bosses where we will be able to cast Shadow Worded below the 20%. This might be really interesting, but also I think this is more aimed towards PvP environments. On the opposite side, we have Voidweaver. So it replaces our pet into Voidweaver. So it casts Void Play, it does a lot more damage, and then it prioritizes the enemies with higher health. And on the third row we have Void Leech. So every 2 seconds we siphon an amount equal to 3% of our health from an enemy ally if they are higher health than you. I think this is more, again, very situational, depending on what we have to do and what we need in our group. And then we have Embrace the Shadow, and we absorb 3% of all mighty damage taken, and absorbing shadow damage heals you for 100% of the amount absorbed. So I think this talent is also very situational. So if we have a boss where we have a lot of shadow damage, this will be really interesting. And we are talking about the War Within, which I assume that we will have some situations where we will encounter shadow damage. And the last talent is basically each time it's Collapsing Void. Each time we cast penance, whether it is to deal damage or to heal a specific party member, we empower our Entropic Drift. So increasing the damage it makes to 10%, and after the Drift finishes, basically collapse, it does it explodes, and it does a really high amount of damage to everyone within 15 yards. So this is a quick review of the talents. I think they already nerfed compared to the alpha, but I think it's normal. It was really overtuned. Okay, so now we are going to talk about the recent changes they made to Rapture. So Rapture, right now in the current version in retail, in Dragonflight, you cast it, and then you have like 10 seconds where you can spam the shield on your group or on your right, and that's it. With these changes, what they are doing with Rapture is that it maintains the 1.5 minutes of cooldown, but instead of having a specific time where you can spam it, they did two things. You have now like a maximum of 3 shields that you can cast empowered, and they are also buffing the amount that it is empowered. So in the War Within, we are having like 80% of additional damage to the shield, and then you can also improve Rapture with the Exaltation talent, so you go from 3 shields to 5 shields. So right now in the current version of beta, when you cast Rapture, your next 5 shields will be like buffed. So this is very interesting, and now we are moving to the tier because I'll show you here. So if we take a look at the tier, obviously the second piece set is, it's pretty much very straightforward. The healing from the atonement is increased by 5%, so we are increasing here our output. But the 4-piece set bonus, basically what it makes is every time we cast a Smite or Void Blast, it also includes Void Blast, and Penance, we get a buff called Darkness from the left side or something like that. And it extras 3 times. So every stack gives us like 25% increased damage for Mind Blast, and also it empowers our power shield by 15%. So this can be stacked up to 3 times. So that means that if we cast a Mind Blast with 3 stacks, our Mind Blast will do 75% more damage, and then all shields will be buffed by 45% of additional amount they can absorb. So I'll show you right now like how everything comes together and the conclusion of this. So all these three things, to me, it makes really interesting to how we are going to play Disc in at least this season 1. If everything stays like this, I think we will see more changes throughout the beta. But with the current tier set bonus, basically what I'm seeing is like they are trying to make Seal a bit more prominent spell within our healing rotation. Not only because of the tier bonus, but also because of the talents we're getting, like in Cutus, it empowers again, or Seals, or we have other talents like Rapture. They are changing Rapture to, instead of, okay, let's just spam Seal, then you have now 5 seals that will be really empowered and it will absorb a really large amount of damage. So it's like we will have to play with the seals in a more prominent way. And what I'm seeing is like with this tier set bonus is that it buffs both Mind Blast and Seals through Smite / Void Blast and Penance, but Mind Blast has a 21 seconds cooldown with the current haste that they have in the beta, so we won't be able to use this buff Darkness of from the Light every time. So we'll have to rotate between Mind Blast and Seals. So every time Mind Blast is off cooldown, we will be using Mind Blast. But when we don't have Mind Blast on off cooldown, we'll have to cast Seals because we need to use this buff so to increase our output, right? So I think this reminds me a little bit of how this worked back in the kata days, where we were relying a lot on the seals. We are not at that point because this changed a lot from obviously the kata days. But it's true that we are, or they are trying to give more like priority to the Power Word seal compared to what we have in Dragonflight. And to show you a little bit of the kind of seals we can get, because remember that the seals can also crit. So I will stack the buff 3 times. So right now we have damage from light. So our current power or seals will be increased by 45% of the amount absorbed. And then I'm going to cast Rapture. So with this, we can get, without critting, we can get seals of around 1 million. And if we manage to get 1 crit, so there we go. We just have a crit and we have a seal of 2 millions. So obviously this is a crit shield, but the current health we have in the War Within beta, I mean, it's like full gear. It's not mythic a item level, but it's around 5 million, I mean 4 million and a half of HP. So yeah, probably with a full mythic gear item level, maybe we are around 5 million HP, something like that. And obviously we will also increase our intellect, which will buff the amount that we are absorbing with our shields. So we will be seeing shields of around 2 million, 2 millions and a half, which seems crazy to me. Like we will be playing with, in the season 1, with around 5 million of health, and we can get shields of 2.5 million, which is around 50% of our health, right? So to me, it's crazy. I think seals will play a really major role of this play style on season 1, if everything stays the same, which I think obviously we'll see more changes and more adjustments. So that's a wrap. Thank you for watching, guys. Please let me know in the comments what you think, if you already have time to test the new talents, the new discipline play style, if you like it, if you don't, yeah, whatever. Please let me know. Yeah, see you on the next video. Bye bye.